Hey guys, welcome back into the channel. As always, your host here, Clinton Yoder, my co-host Corey McClendon here on Yoders Talk. We're excited to be with you again here. We have a great episode planned today. Let's make sure that we stay tuned into it. It's going to be some great content, some great conversation around never stopping in the middle. So just stick with us today. Corey, are you excited to get it underway?
Yep, get you some popcorn because this is a good one.
This is a good one. Guys, appreciate you so much. Thank you for tuning in, and here's another episode of Yoders Talk. I mean, that's kind of, in the Bible it talks about the talents where, a king said, here you go, I need you to take these, and while I'm off on a journey, and one buried it, and the others grew their talents. Yeah. And I know it's talking financial, but I believe it's also talking talents, our abilities. And the one that buried it lost it and had to give it to someone else.
When I walked away from the faith and I wasn't doing I wasn't pastoring, I wasn't leading or doing anything like this, I had a hole inside of me that I said, something's missing that is tied to my identity.
Yeah, you're not authentically you.
And
Amen.
it's not who Corey is, and it's not who Jessie is, not who Clinton is, and it's not, listeners, it's not who you are when you walk away from what you were designed to do.
All right, guys, we are back with y'all here on another episode. We're excited to get this thing going. We been gone from the business for a little over a week, and just getting back actually this morning was me and Corey, first day back from a week. We were actually out in Denver, Colorado.
Yep.
At a leadership conference, and man, we got filled up. We got a lot to throw at y'all, probably just thoughts that came to us while we sat there, listening to everything that we feel that we need to correct in our lives and in our leadership. It's been kind of we were talking about it before we started recording, of just the massive amount of things that we consumed out there. And that's at the Entree Leadership Summit put on by the Ramsey organization, and they do such a good job at getting everything laid out well. They structure the conference very well to where it flows, and it I got so many notes and so many things that to apply to my life. But Corey, what was one of your highlights you would say?
I think for me, the conference, number one, being in a room full of what was it, 3,000 or so?
Yeah, right at 3,000.
Just business owners and leaders in business. That's such a cool thing to get to be with people that are in the same fight you are. But one thing that I think sometimes it stuck with me, John Maxwell, which is such a great leader and great teacher of leadership, he gave a talk that everything worthwhile is uphill. And so as business owners and business leaders, sometimes we think, hey, we're going to get over this struggle and it's going to be easy. And that's not what life is.
Yeah.
And so knowing that fact, that after this challenge comes a next challenge and a next challenge, because we're climbing up a hill. That it gave me a little fire in my gut that, hey, there's going to be bad days, but I'm going to get over this, and there's another bad day coming. But I know that in my head.
But you said bad day.
Yeah.
So what if we could change our mindset to where it's not a bad day? It is we accept the struggle, we accept the grind, and we wake up every day knowing today is going to be a challenge.
Yeah.
And start making the challenges become a good day.
Yeah. And it's uphill.
Yeah.
You got to climb.
Got to keep climbing, and it never ends.
Yep.
It never ends. There's always another obstacle, but my goal is that I can find peace with the chaos, peace within the chaos of life, I guess you could say, just the grind of life, the things that happen in our life and everything. So, but yeah, no, it was a great time. Got to meet some of my good friends again that I've got to know over the years, attending them events. And, I've noticed one of the things that talking with other business owners that I noticed was that there's a little bit of a different mindset this year in the overall business world. Everybody is optimistic about a great future, but everybody seems to kind of be going through a time of not really slow down, somewhat, but everybody that I talked about it's an opportunity to stabilize the business and get their business stable. The crazy years of COVID kind of exposed a lot of us as business owners to things that we didn't realize, and it is an opportunity for everybody to really just get them systems and things up and going, that correcting the things that kind of were exposed over that time. So it was good. It was, and I feel the same way in our business. I think this year we're just trying to kind of work through the things that were exposed, I guess you could say. So
and shout out to Sam Peachy, one of the fans of the podcast. He came up and talked to me. Appreciate you, buddy. I'm glad you were at the summit and learning to be a better leader. So
yes. Good stuff.
Keep
good
going
stuff.
after it.
All right, so getting into today's conversation, we have a special guest on today, Jessie Priest. I'll let you, Corey, bring him in, and just let's get this thing kicked off. I'm ready. I'm excited.
So Jessie Priest is a country music and sort of kind of, you also incorporate some rock into that as well. Good. So from Holly Pond originally.
That's where.
But you and also going to be on the Rock the South stage this year.
Yes, sir.
Man, yeah.
Dude, we're so excited about that. That's going to be pretty awesome.
Oh,
how is that? How does that feel? Because there's some pretty notable names on that, and to have your name included in that's got to be kind of a lot of affirmation of what you've been grinding towards.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it's one of the biggest festivals that we've ever got to be a part of.
Yeah.
So we're super excited about it.
Yeah. Who all is going to be singing there this year, or what are some of the big artists? I'll be honest, I haven't kept up with like I need to.
Like Kid Rock,
yeah.
Hank Williams Jr.
Oh man, that's big names.
Yeah. Nickelback.
Okay.
And it was gonna be Three Doors Down, but unfortunately their lead singer found out he had cancer.
Oh man.
So they've canceled all their tours.
Well, that's awesome, man.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, so how long, Jessie, have you been, I guess you could say, in the grind?
I mean, I guess my whole life.
Your whole life.
Yeah.
So music was something that you kind of, as a kid, even.
Yeah, I've been playing guitar since I was 12. And
okay.
Played drums prior to that, and stuff like that.
So music's been just part of your life, basically.
Pretty much.
Yeah. What are some moments, I guess? Well, I want to go kind of into his story. Because you have a story. You have kind of a, what led you to where you are today, and you talked about Nashville and things like that. So, in your own words, can you kind of give us a little bit of a rundown of your music career? Just sum it up the best you can for our audience, kind of understand the fact of, today we're kind of wanting to talk about, focus a little bit on, don't stop in the middle. Don't stop in the middle of what you're trying to achieve. So kind of just give us a little bit of a, summary, I guess you could say, of your career.
Okay. So like I said, I started when I was 12 and spent years playing. And, of course, when you're that age and you're playing, you kind of, you got stars in your eyes and, I want to be famous or this, that, and other. And then it kind of transitioned over the years of, I just want to do music for a living. So how can I incorporate that? Because there's really not like a roadmap for this.
Right.
At all. But, I don't know. It kept being like one of those things in the back of my mind. Of course, like a ton of artists, I started out playing in church, and then we had our first band that I was in, and I just played some lead for them, and kind of rhythm and stuff. And then wanted to try singing a little more. So maybe around like maybe 14 or 15, I started really singing more,
Mhm.
and sang in church quite often. And then all through high school, I was just the kid that played guitar and sang, you know.
Mhm.
And after high school, I signed with a small label in Nashville right out of high school. So I was going to Nashville a lot up there, and it was fine for the most part. They kind of labeled us the outlaw country,
Mhm.
you know, because there wasn't really a genre to kind of lump some of us in.
Which today there, you
Yeah.
would say there is now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of.
It's more like a Southern Rocky kind of outlaw country.
Yeah.
So, but at that point in time, you know, it was kind of new, and everybody was, you know, kind of pushing like the snap tracks, and you know, that's when the country music kind of went south, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm
Or
with you.
went north.
North.
But you know, so during that time, like I said, we was with that label, and a few of us, we'd get in trouble and stuff, being on Broadway, just
Right.
raising Cain, because you know
That's what you do there, right?
So then you kind of get penalized
Yeah.
for doing that.
Yeah.
And finally, I just kind of had enough of it, and I just said, "Man, I'm out. Like, I'm done." I worked at the psych hospital in Coleman for a while.
Yeah.
You know, took some during all this stuff too. You know.
Yeah.
And then I was a union pipe fitter.
Okay.
So I joined the union when I came back from Nashville and kind of just washed my hands of doing music, because you got to make a living, right? So I did union work for right at like 8 years, because you got to do like 5 years of schooling, and then you turn out, and then so it was welding and pipe fitting and working at all the Alabama Powers and U.S. Steel and Sipco, Golden Flake, like everywhere. And I had met up with some friends of mine, Justin Duncan, and they were like, "Man, come play some shows." So I was trying to play a little bit of shows here and there, and then we started getting some stuff in Tuscaloosa. So I would always have to, like, we'd be working at U.S. Steel, and I would take like a small little bath that I could in the sink at work.
Yeah.
And then we'd go to Tuscaloosa and play College Town until 2 a.m. because the shows there were from like 10 to 2.
So you made it work with your
Yeah,
job,
well,
as best you could.
The best I could, definitely. And so whenever you're with the union, you work with a bunch of different contractors throughout. You know, it's because it's kind of like you're chasing the next job. You know, because we would work 6 months straight and then have 2 weeks being laid off. That was nothing. You know, that's just part of the trade.
Yeah.
And I was working with my dad at the point in time when I decided that I was like, I think I'm gonna be done, because I was so tired. I mean, we'd work like 12, 16-hour shifts at U.S. Steel. I'd go play for, you know, people just think that you play for 4 hours, but you know, it's a lot longer. You got to set up, and then the breakdown and the drive to and from. And I live in Holly Pond, so from Tuscaloosa to Holly Pond's like 2 hours and some change.
Yeah.
And so I'd get super tired and make it back home in time to get a bath and go to the real job.
Yeah. Wow. So it's just a grind.
Yeah, definitely. So finally, I kind of just, you know, talked to my dad, and I said, "Man, I think I'm going to step away from all this and try music one more time." And that has been over 5.5 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And since then, like we talked about at the beginning, you got the opportunity to, which, you know, it's in our hometown, you could say Coleman, Alabama, where Rock the South is held. What, I guess, share a little bit with us on, you know, the excitement of that when you found it out, and that, you know, like, I'm assuming this is class is your biggest gig yet when it comes to playing in front of this many people and this, and, you know, that level of artists and stuff that you'll be playing with. So yeah, what just give us a little bit of what led up to that, finding it out, and the excitement behind that. Because I know that's probably something you'll always look at in your music career, look back to later in life, and be like, man, that was a big moment.
Oh, definitely. So we got hit up by Traditions in Coleman just to do their New Year's party.
Okay.
You know, and I didn't think nothing of it because it's just, you know, we've played a ton of gigs.
Right.
So
right.
they were like, you know, would you play our New Year's Eve show? We got a few bands. We're going to do food trucks and like free for the community, just a big, huge ordeal. And like I said, yeah, you know, we'd love to. So me and some of the guys I was playing with, they agreed, you know, okay, we'll do a New Year's show or a New Year's Eve show. So we don't really practice that often. You know, we just kind of meet up and go play. Like I don't know.
Yeah, no.
It's terrible.
I get it. I mean, we all try to act like we do more than, you know, as far as preparation, but there's many a times we don't do as much as we want to admit.
Yeah, well, that's us.
This podcast is a evidence
Is
of that sometimes.
I got you. No, but we, man, I said, okay. So the night before, some of the guys that I was supposed to play with bailed. And was like, man, we can't do it. And like somebody had some priorities and this, that, and the other, and I was like, well, this sucks because like this is a big deal. Like we're playing, you know, the Traditions New Year's Eve party. Like it's supposed to be a huge little bash. And it turned out it was massive, you know. There's a ton of people, free food trucks and all that stuff. Like,
and Coleman is that's. I mean, you got all these festivals, and Coleman's known for the community getting together. Yeah,
definitely. So I was scrambling. Like I don't know. I was really, really, really afraid that we weren't going to get to do it. And I was like, man, I guess I'm just going to have to text them and be like, is it cool if I do it solo or trio? Like, I might can fumble around and find some people. So, first person I called was my buddy Daniel Harbison, and I was like, dude, like, he plays music with me a lot. And I was like, can you play? And he's like, yeah, man, yeah, I'll do whatever I can. And then the second person I called was my buddy Josh Goins. And I was like, man, some people bailed, and he said, dude, I'm there. Like, he didn't ask no questions. He's like, dude, I'm on the money. And I said, okay, awesome. So Goins, he's the bass player. And I said, well, do you know anybody that could drum? Like, you know, he said, well, let me ask around. So he wound up asking his buddy Chris Whited if he would drum, and he's like, yeah, man. Well, so we had it worked out. We're like, awesome. Well, then, unfortunately, my lead player, Zane, got the flu.
Oh, just one thing after another.
So I had to call Daniel back, and I'm like, dude, is there any way you think you could fumble through some lead guitar? And Daniel's like, man, I'm not a lead player, but he said, I will work as hard as I can and do whatever I can. And so I said, okay, so here's what we'll do. We'll just try to make a small set list of things that we can just knock out perfect. You know, like it sounds like we've played them before together.
Right.
So we did some of the cliches that everybody does so that we would know, like, we didn't have but less than 24 hours prep time.
Yeah.
You know, and so we loaded up, showed up, and still at this point, no idea about Ride the South. Like, I'm on my Coleman TV all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
And
great guys.
You know, I do their shows, and I'm just kind of a part of that. We're called Happy Neighbors.
Right. Yeah.
So the Happy Neighbors knew because Coleman Daily got in contact with them to make sure it was cool, you know, because I'm a part of my Coleman TV. And they were like, yeah, you know, that's awesome. So that was the whole shooting match, was the whole ordeal was based for this Traditions show to happen and for us to play it so they could gift us Rock the South.
Oh, man.
So, like, you know, here I am thinking, well, we're just going to have to cancel. Like, I'm just not even going to get to do it. And so we get there, and, like, we hit up, they gave, like, I think they were called, like, Traditions Bucks or something, so you could take it to the food trucks, and you got, like, a free meal, and then you could get free drinks or hot cocoa or whatever you wanted. And so me and the band done that. Well, then the Coleman Daily guys come over, and they're like, hey, man, you know, introduce themselves to all of us. And they were like, we need you and your wife to come on stage with us in a little bit, you know, before you play. And, you know, we're going to do some announcements and stuff. And I'm so scatterbrained at that
Trying
point.
to prepare,
Yeah, because, again, you know, we just got kind of screwed over, and we're throwing this band together fast. And I said, okay, cool, whatever. So I'm like, wow, that's kind of weird. And my wife jokingly said, she said, oh, they're going to ask you to play Rock the South. And I said, oh, yeah, no, that's funny, you know. And then I'm like, no, I mean, why would you say that? She said, oh, I was just messing with you, you know. Well, I don't need that right now. Don't do that to me. And so then me and Daniel have been friends for years, and I was like, Daniel, Jess said, what if they're going to gift us the opportunity to play Rock the South or something? And that's why they're telling us we got to be on the stage early and do these announcements. So we wasn't thinking nothing else about it. And then it come to the time for us to get up on the stage, and we noticed a guy that had a hat that I'm trying to think of what the hat said. It was a dead giveaway that he was with Rock the South.
Yeah.
Because it was a hat. Maybe it was a Premier Production hat or something. I don't remember. But he came up and introduced himself, you know, and we talked to him. And then, sure enough, they got us all on, me and the wife on stage, and told us that we were getting gifted the opportunity to play Rock the South. And then, you know, then it's like, oh, God. We just threw this band together, and y'all are going to gift us this, and people are going to be like, well, let's see what they got, I guess.
Yeah.
And then here we are, never practiced once with this drummer. Like, Daniel's not ever played lead for us, and I'm like, oh, no. Like, there was a lot of emotion. I mean, it was super exciting. You know,
But it was the fact that.
But the fact that we were.
I bet it put a lot of pressure on you too, like up
Definitely.
there to perform well. But that's super. That's
an awesome story.
awesome, man.
That's got. I mean, I think of like little times that I've had little opportunities and stuff, and the nerves, but having to throw, because I mean, like I said, I was serious about this podcast. Sometimes me and you don't do a great job preparing because we're running businesses.
Right.
But we, you know, you throw it together, and you're like, oh my gosh, is this going to work? Is this going to work? But then on top of that, throwing the announcement on top of you that, hey, you're going to get to play this big festival, but now you got to go play the show. Yeah. And hope it's going to work out. So I get that. That's awesome though. That's an awesome story.
Well, and it comes from, I mean, the grind that you put in previous. I mean, if you would have gave up on music, you never had this opportunity. I mean, it would have just, you know, and that's what a lot of times we can't see the future. That's for a fact. And a lot of great things come from, I guess you could say, unexpected. Wins happen that are unexpected because of someone saying, look, I may not be getting noticed right now, but I'm going to keep doing the right thing every single day. And eventually, all of a sudden, you're surprised. It's kind of like that comment that you people are like, man, you became an overnight sensation. And you're like, for over 30 years of doing it, yes. You know, finally you finally arrived. And it's that quote that I shared with, I think John Maxwell said this. He said that everybody wants to do what I do, but no one wants to do what I did. Yeah. And talking in that just a little bit, since that moment, Jesse, how's it been as far as, because we know how it is when something big is announced and you have an opportunity, you have people come out of the woodworks. Is that how is that kind of how it happened for you? Like people finding out that, hey, he gets to play there and I want to be part of that. Has that been something that's happened where you've had to kind of work through that side of it? Because you have a lot of people wanting to, I guess, buddy up against you now.
Yeah,
because
kind of.
Yeah. How do you work through that? I mean, because I know that's may not be an answer to that.
It's a little bit of a learning curve. So I mean, I've had people come out and be like, "You get me in to rock the South," and I'm like, "Dude, I don't know anything," and I'm not even lying.
Yeah.
Like, you know, now that we're doing this podcast, I just learned, like 2 or 3 nights ago. No, what is today? Oh, anyways,
Right.
I learned just 2 nights ago that we're playing Friday, like the Kid Rock Day.
Yeah, gotcha.
You know, and like this,
So your
we're
information
what,
is
3
still
weeks out, you know, and I just now find out that it's the Friday.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the point. And I told people, because tons of people kept asking me too. They were like, you know, we just want to buy a ticket for the night that you're going to be there. And I'm like, you know, okay, well, I get that, man.
Right.
You know, tickets are expensive. I totally understand. And they're like, so when are you playing? And I'm like, man, I don't know. Like, I promise you, I'm not lying. I'm not under some NDA.
Right.
Like, I literally do not know anything.
Yeah.
So, finally, I got to wind up telling people, you know, hey, it's Friday. So if you want to buy tickets,
That's
Friday.
super cool though. Play with Kid Rock though, or in that same or that night.
Definitely.
That's and he kind of fits the music I've listened to from you in a way. You know, he kind of pivoted a little bit back, kind of towards country in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Kid Rock has, and for you, some of the music I listen to is in a way there's some similarity there.
Yeah.
You know, with your style of music and stuff. So that's pretty cool. So, but
yeah, I know. I haven't been to a Rock the South since it's moved.
Mm-hmm.
I used to live right behind the South Walmart, and so I went to the first couple of years there, and when it was at Heritage, and then the next couple of years I got a free concert because I live so close.
Yeah.
And I can remember I sat out in my backyard and listened to Alan Jackson. And I was like, man, this is great. Like, this is
right
awesome.
you don't have to worry
The
about
traffic's not great.
Yeah, definitely.
But you know, I think it's a cool little festival that they throw, and it's
you
great.
said
for
little.
Sorry,
It's
not little.
Is it the
It's the largest.
Is it the largest in the Southeast or largest in the States? I don't know if it's largest in the States, but it's up there. I know it's
big.
It's massive. I shouldn't say little, but no, it's a great event for the city, and bring a lot of people get to come in, and I think it has a lot to do with why Coleman's kind of turned into this little, they call it the Hallmark town, especially around Christmas, is, you know, some people get to come to listen to great music, but then they get to experience the town of Coleman, and it's really a great place to live and call home. But you know, I told you I've got some friends that are in music, and you know, one of them is kind of he does it, and then another one he lives down in Florida and plays a lot of spots and stuff, and I know how much of a grind it is to sit there and, you know, Friday, Saturday, you know, Sunday night you're playing shows, you know, late, and it can wear on you. And it can wear on your voice, and you got to take care of your voice and everything like that. And, you know, to feel like, hey, I'm doing this, and then to get the opportunity to kind of, I guess it's to say, it's not like, but it's a big shot to play this thing, and that's got to be just so feel great that hey, this is starting to work out. For you.
Because I mean, the fact is, man, you're going to be introduced to a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
It could swing. This could be an opportunity that swings your music career forward in a fairly massive massive thing. I mean, you know, it's super cool to have someone like you from, you know, our town that's, you know, does it well. I mean, the music I've listened to, you do a great job, man. I mean, it's good stuff. It's not like you're just this. I mean, you have a voice of a star, is what I'm saying, and the way your music is delivered is amazing. The lyrics and things. I don't know if you write your own songs. That's not my business, but the fact is, I mean, I figured you do pretty much, and it's just. You have a new one that's coming out soon, right? Or something. Yeah, and I listened to the clip of it on Facebook. I think it was that's going to be good.
Oh, yeah,
I like it. I'm telling you, not many people know this, but that's his style of music is what I love. I absolutely love that style of music. It's just kind of there's some soulfulness mixed in with that rock edge, you could say, and it's awesome. So. But all right, I want to move into, actually before we go any further, I want to give a word from one of our sponsors, Farmhouse Coffee. Just take a listen real quick.
There is just something about the first sip of coffee in the morning. It sets the tone for the whole day, and if you're like us, you know that not just any coffee will do.
That's why we start our mornings with Farmhouse Coffee. Freshly brewed, handcrafted, and served straight from their coffee truck. Their coffee isn't just a drink, it's an experience.
Whether you need a smooth cup of coffee to ease you into the day, or a bold brew to fuel your hustle, they've got you covered. No gimmicks, no shortcuts, just great coffee made fresh every single time.
And the best part, they're always on the move, bringing their amazing coffee to different spots around town.
To find where they are setting up next, check out Farmhouse Coffee's Facebook page. And trust us, once you taste the difference, you'll be tracking them down every single morning.
Farmhouse Coffee, brewed fresh, served with purpose. All right, thank you guys. Just want to again thank Farmhouse Coffee for what they do for us and delivering some amazing coffee
Keeping us caffeinated,
keeping us going. And gotta like them on Facebook, check them out, and they're all over Coleman.
We definitely needed it this morning.
Yes, we did after yesterday's travel. So it's good stuff. So, but let's kind of move on a little bit here in our conversation. One of the questions that I want to talk a little on is what keeps us going. And I'll ask you a question here in a second, Jesse, in regards to what keeps you going, what keeps you waking up every morning even when you don't feel like it, and you get up and still do it. For me, what keeps me going is a bigger purpose behind what I do, a bigger meaning behind what I do. Yes, we got to make a living. Yes, every one of us have we have to take care of our families, feed our families, pay the bills, and all that good stuff. But to really get up and have the energy to keep going, there has to be something bigger. So, the question I have for you, Jesse, what is that thing deep within you that keeps you going and keeps you chasing that dream, you could say? Just share your thoughts on that a little, if you don't mind.
That's kind of hard.
I get it. I understand. It's a tough question.
Deep. I dig it. But the biggest thing is I've come so close so many times to just throwing in the towel. you know, literally just giving it all, because it's not a cakewalk. I mean, it's people all the time. One of the worst things that I get like told, oh, it must be nice just to lug a guitar around and play music for a living. And I'm like, if you only knew, buddy. If you only knew. Because we're not just a cover band. We're not just cover artists. We write our music. We get in a studio. We record hours and hours in the studio. You know, and it takes days. And it takes months to, like, if you're going to do a full-length album, like, I released an album a couple years ago called Alabama Bloodline. And just to get in the studio and record all those songs, and to do all of that is very difficult, and it costs a lot of money. You know, like, I think that album cost me around $8,000, something like that. Like,
and that's not even your time.
Yeah, that's not even the time. You know, like, my guys, like, the band had to come in and record, and, you know, that's just the main, not that, you know, I'm just trying to say it's not a cakewalk. Because you have to put all in that time and effort. And, like, you know, when I was union pipe fitter, had to put in the time and effort to work. But nobody ever looked at me and said, oh, man, must be nice just to be a pipe fitter. You know what I'm saying? Like,
So I used to be a pastor, and I used to get that all the time. But it must be nice to only work one day a week.
Yeah,
and you're like,
you work one. You get your own house.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, I get. You just go golfing all week, and I'm like, no, because all you people are crazy. I have to,
you have to go everywhere.
Yeah, but I get that, because I mean, it is such a grind. In the studio, man, like, my mom recorded a couple songs. She was a gospel singer, and, you know, I got to go and sit in the studio and watch her record them. And, man, like, it ain't just one take.
No. God,
like,
no.
it is constant, hey, let's work on it, let's get it right. And so I know that's a grind, but yeah, it gets expensive. But I know, man, like, you talking about, like, the purpose behind your music and stuff, you can feel, like, I listened to your stuff on the way in this morning, and I'd listened to a couple when we originally booked you, and the one I saw, I've got it right here, Moonchild. I listened to that one. Man, that's a great song. I really enjoyed it this morning. I was like Clinton said, we traveled all day yesterday, and I went immediately to baseball practice last night, and so I didn't get home till like 9:30 or something like that. And so this morning I was like, man, what do I got to listen to get me amped up for this? And I was like, well, I'm just gonna listen to Jesse's music, and so I appreciate your stuff, man. It's really good stuff.
You can tell that there's, like I said, there's artists out there that will write songs that when you listen to them, you're just listening to it. But then you have artists that, when you listen to it, you can, like, feel, in a sense, what they're feeling.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if
something you can relate to.
Yes, you can feel it. If you know, is that kind of what keeps you, like, you know, because these songs, most times somebody that writes their songs, they're writing it from in here, so it's really taking what you're feeling and putting it on paper in a way, and you can tell that with your music. And is that what kind of motivates you to keep going? Is it people telling you that you're making a difference in their life? What would you say?
It's funny you say that. I got a song called "Keep On Going."
Keep on going. There you go. There you go.
So, but, like, in that song, it talks about I'm trying to think of I'm scatterbrained.
You're good, man.
That's all right.
I'm trying to think of how it would actually start out, but it talks about a young kid wanting to be a musician. And then, you know, it says that he wants to be on a stage, and he picks up his guitar and he made his own way. And then it's like, oh, Lord, we keep on going as fast as we can. songs won't sell even though they're good, but we keep on going as fast as we can.
Mm-hmm.
And then it talks about a lady that wants to be a star. She's seen the stars on TV and, thought something felt right. So she packed up her stuff, quit her job, and moved, out to L.A.
Yeah.
And then again, it's like, oh Lord, we keep on going as fast as we can. Hearts will break and we won't understand. And the stars will fall up there in Hollywood. But we keep on going as fast as we can. Mm-hmm. And then the end of it talks about, I kind of threw my grandfather into it. Because it says he was laying in a hospital bed moments away from taking his last breaths. And he looked around at all the friends he'd made. And he just smiled and said, I'll see you again someday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then, it says, keep on going as fast as we can. Old souls die and new are born, but we keep on going as fast as we can. So, like, and the rundown of it, it's just kind of a story from me in the beginning, wanting to play music. Something random I pulled, of somebody wanting to be an actor and actress. Mm-hmm. And then another personal experience from my grandpa and the last words that, he'd said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And,
that's deep.
But it's this real driving, kind of driving, get you going kind of tune. Mm-hmm. So you wouldn't really pick that it's that deep unless you really listen to it, Mm-hmm. And, I guess what keeps me going is just, I just want to play music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Something you just love it.
Yeah,
it's your passion.
I've walked away from it a few times, and for some reason, like, it just keeps coming back, And I'm a firm believer in my faith, mm-hmm. And I will never deny that in front of anybody.
Yeah.
And I feel like the Lord will put in front of you what you're supposed to do in this life.
Amen to that.
And all the doors that have just opened continuously leading back to doing music. No matter how bad I hate it, I get mad at it, I get frustrated. I scream in the middle of the night, like, Lord, is it for real? Like, because pipe fitting, that was some good work. That was some good money.
That's good money, yeah.
Why do I feel like I want to do music, And every time. It's like a song all of a sudden comes to me, and I write a whole song in
just keep bringing
a
you
matter
back.
of minutes.
Yeah.
Like Moonchild, that you were talking about is we kind of joke around, and we took some ideas from Jenny from Forrest Gump, mm-hmm. a little bit, but the truth of it is that it's a little bit about my life in that song. So, but I didn't want to make it about me because, a gypsy man, that was not like that didn't flow.
Yeah.
So, we kind of hit up with the gypsy lady with the starry eyes, dreaming of the West Coast sands. So, like, they're just trying to dream about going out, out west. And then, I don't want to put my interpretation in the song. I want people to draw from it what they feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. And make their own story for it.
I think it's, you said something that stuck with me about, sometimes what we're made to do, you can't run away from, no matter how hard you try. Mm-hmm. Like, so, like you saying, like, I could make a lot of money pipe fitting. I can do all these things, but it's playing music is ingrained in me, and you feel like you keep getting drawn back to it.
Definitely.
I can relate with that, like, because I've had similar experiences where I've been like, man, I'm just gonna go make a lot of money and do those things, and I'm gonna forget everything that. Like, I walked away from the faith one time completely. And, but, I tell people that the gifts of God will not leave you.
Yeah, and if you don't use it, you'll lose it.
Yeah,
Amen.
and like
It talks about the talents. I mean, that's kind of, in the Bible, it talks about the talents where, a king said, here you go. I need you to take these, and while I'm off on a journey, and one buried it, and the others grew their talents.
Yeah.
And I know it's talking financial, but I believe it's also talking talents, like our abilities. And the one that buried it lost it and had to give it to someone else.
Yeah, but it's so tied into, those things are so tied into our passions that immediately when you don't do those things, you feel the hole inside of you. And so, like me, when I walked away from the faith and I wasn't doing any, I wasn't pastoring, I wasn't leading or doing anything like this, I had a hole inside of me that I said, like, something's missing that is tied to my identity.
Yeah, you're not authentically you.
And
Amen.
it's not who Corey is, and it's not who Jessie is, not who Clinton is, and it's not, listeners, it's not who you are when you walk away from what you were designed to do. Because, like I said this a couple episodes ago, like, when it comes to your purpose on this earth, there's no backup plan. There's only you to do that purpose. And so I want to give you some encouragement, man. I know it's a grind out there, but dude, you're killing it. You know,
appreciate it, man.
And
There'd be many people that, beginning music, that look at where you are and they feel that, man, if I could just be where Jesse's at. And I know you look at people that are further in it, and you're like, man, if I just want to get to there, want to get to there. And we all, it's easy to always look at the people around us that may have had a little more success than us in a certain field or in a certain thing, but there was a day they sat right where you sat.
Yeah, especially like for us coming off of this week, it's very easy for us to look at like some of the people that spoke or some of the people that we got to hang out with that are absolutely killing it in business, and it's like, man, I'd love to be where they are. But then there's people that are little behind us that are like, they see us and they're like, man, we'd love to be where they're at.
Killing it, man.
And so, but it's always good to have that perspective, but it's challenging at times to keep that perspective, because it's always man, I could be better. Like, I joked, I said, like, I came back to the room one night after this conference, and my wife was like, hey, are you okay? And I was like, I suck as a leader, I suck as a dad, I suck as a husband. And because I heard several different things in this conference that I wasn't doing. And I was like, I'm deficient. Like, I have a deficiency in my life. But what in reality is, my whole mind is looking at the things I don't have, but I'm not looking at the things I do have. Yeah. And so I think that's that's difficult at times. Yeah. But
that's with anybody out there that might listen and say that they want to do this, it is very difficult. I will not say that it is easy, by no means. Some people luck up and have a TikTok one hit, and then they're gone and they're golden, and that's great, but there are people out here that are paying their dues. The music industry has changed drastically over the course due to social media, which, I mean, is a lot with also other businesses as well. But music being a major one, because, now you don't even, like, used to, it was nothing like, do y'all remember the Pharaoh shop in Coleman, like the CD store, the Pharaoh shop? We used to go in there, and you would just find new CDs or albums or whatever, and you're like, I wonder who this is. There was no internet for that, and then now you kind of get the cliche music and stuff, and I mean, everybody sounds like Zach Bryan or they're kind of copy and paste artists, and I'm like, man, like, are people just numb?
Where's the authentic?
Authentic. And not that I'm knocking those guys, right? But a lot of them are these TikTok one-hit wonders that have not done
the work.
Yeah, the work, and it kind of it kind of gets to a point where we're kind of like, man, I just want to give up. Like, you know, this guy wrote this song and it super sucks. And
I feel that way.
You know?
Like I listen to some, like my son plays baseball, right? And so every year, me and him go through this process of picking his walk-up song. And so, you know, he'll hear songs and he'll be like, Daddy, I want this to be my walk-up song. And I'll listen to it and I'm like, dude, that song's trash. like and it's always like some hip hop song like from today and stuff, and like I'm like, dude, you want to hear good music? Like we'll kick it back to the 90s and the
good.
like I will show you good hip hop. We'll have some Run DMC up in here. And so like, but you're right, like everything, it's like somebody sent out a mass template of here's how to make a song now. And here you go, and everybody fits that style. Like for me, the one thing I like about your songs is there's artistry in it of a story being told.
And I think that's what's missing in a lot of that TikTok world of music is AI. Hey, I need to write a song. I mean, I bet you I could get on ChatGPT here and be like, hey, ChatGPT, I need to write a song about this. Spit it out.
Yeah, definitely.
And it'll probably, you know, to be honest, it'd probably be a little catchy, but when it's delivered to an audience, if it doesn't come from in here, I know I feel it.
Yeah.
I know I can tell it.
Yeah.
You just can. And but I believe social media and that whole world has made a world of fake. It's even made a world of fake entrepreneurs, fake business owners in a way. Meaning, you know, they put a video out and it went viral, and now all of a sudden they're an expert.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you right now, we do this podcast. I'm no expert at running a business. I'll be a prime. I'll tell you right now, I have everything that I say on this podcast is 100% because I've been through it in the sense of I failed in it, and I'm just telling you my failures and way I've corrected it. But I am not no expert of business. I'll tell you this right now. I mean, if you want to just come over, hang out with us for a while, and you'll learn that real quick.
Sit in a couple meetings,
right? But that's what I'm getting at. The being authentic and sharing. Being your real self, being who you are, God designed you to be as an individual, can make more of an impact on people than any of this fake crap out there.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
It just is.
That I don't. I go back to this one year. Me and Daniel. Daniel had just quit his job at RWC to start doing music full time, as well, and I feel kind of guilty. Because I was like, man, the money's out here, dude. We gotta dedicate time. And little did I know, me and him started doing like a little podcast and a series called Retro Couch Sessions, which y'all can go back and watch. We would just bring local musicians in. We would get their story and then let them play music, you know, and it was awesome. We had a great time doing it. But our second year into doing all that, me and him played 314 shows. And you don't think about it when you're doing it because, like, we were just always on the road. We were gone. Ohio, Indiana, Georgia, like Florida, PCB, just Kentucky, Tennessee, everywhere.
Yeah.
We were just, there's so many places, like, I don't even remember. Like, I seen a picture the other day that was took of us, and I was like, dude, do you remember where this was at? And he's like, I don't know. You know, and, like, I don't feel like some artists and some folks, you know, you need that opportunity. Mm-hmm. You need to do that for your own personal growth. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, we've played for empty bar stools, and I've played for a few thousand people. You know, Rock the South will be the biggest thing we've ever played.
Yeah.
Collectively.
Mm-hmm.
But Daniel, he's played festivals for 50, 60,000 people before. Mm-hmm. You know, so it's not like super new to him, but again, it is still new as us doing this together as Jessie Priest Music. And so, I don't know, I think all these times of us doing all these runs of these shows, like, I would call him like on a Monday and be like, dude, got a show Friday night if you want to jump on it. And he'd be like, yeah. And I said, but there's a catch. Gonna leave from that show at like, midnight. Drive 8.5 hours into Ohio and then play a show that evening. He said, I'm game. Mm-hmm. So me and him would drive back and forth, find a hotel, sleep for a couple hours, play another whole show, go back to the hotel, sleep for a few more hours, come back home and play another show here. And, that was the year, like, it was around 300 and teens shows that we done. And looking back, it's insane that we played that many shows, But
well, didn't you have to though to really even, early on in any career, you have to grind like that just to even be able to survive.
Yeah. Oh, well, definitely, and that's a hard part of it too. Like, we've had quite a few people that are notable tell us that if we can make a living playing music in Alabama, that was a big feat in itself, because Alabama is one of the hardest places to play music.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got some crazy people here.
So, Jesse, one question I wanted to ask you is how, when you do find success sometimes, like it is, there's a challenge to that, because sometimes it's you see people, they get success and then they lose who they are. So how do you stay grounded and focused when it's kind of stuff's pulling you in other directions, success, things like that? How do you kind of manage that?
I try to be humble and kind. Yeah. There's enough jackassery in the world. I don't know if that's allowed. Sorry.
That's fine.
I should have maybe thought about that. There's enough of that in the world.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be that way. I mean, I have been when I was younger, just super rude and unpolite, and I don't want to be like that. And that's kind of the thing, is even some of the artists that I know can be a little full of themselves, and I'm like, man, why? Like, I have signed so many autographs at gas pumps.
Yeah.
And it just, to me, I'm like, why do you want my autograph for? That's kind of weird, right? And then my wife will be like, well, I mean, you got to think, some of these folks, you're probably the biggest star they've ever met, and you're in a hometown. So, I don't mind at all. Yeah. If you want an autograph, come on up. I'll sign it at a gas pump, because I've done it, And then even prior to Rock the South, the opportunity to play Rock the South, it's around Coleman in Coleman County. Even we've been in Panama City Beach. Like, I played there so much that people will come up and they'll be like, hey, like locals. And they're like, hey, man, we've seen you play here and here and here. And then all around here, people are like, hey, you're that guy. Like, I called the doctor's office the other day. Actually, yesterday, to get a prescription. I have gout, unfortunately. I've been battling with that for a few years in my life, and I was like, I just need some medicine, please help me. And she's like, Jessie Priest, aren't you that famous singer guy from Coleman? And I'm like, I mean, I sing.
How do you deal with that?
Yeah, I'd love to know.
Like emotionally, like I tell somebody, I wouldn't say we've had we're just two rednecks, and there's a lot of people that will. I mean, you had somebody come up to you at the conference, and ask. I tell people it's kind of like that Talladega Night movie where
you don't know what to do.
You don't know what to do with your hands. You don't know what to do with my hands. So how do you? I mean, I guess you kind of answered it though. In the sense of you just want to, you remember how it is to see somebody that you looked up to, and if you were the guy going to the gas pumps, then seeing somebody, you would want them to acknowledge you and give you that autograph. So it's kind of the same concept, just viewing people from their eyes and way they see you, and try to honor that.
But it's still difficult, because I don't see myself as anything other than just some rando that plays music here.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess, like, not that I'm trying to be, like, numb to it. It's not registering in here that maybe it's a little more than it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest, for me,
know.
I found out we're getting Jesse Priest on. It was like, that was a big deal.
Yeah.
You know, just because, I mean, just, you know, especially in Coleman County. I mean, it's Jesse Priest.
I thought it was a big deal. I was going to be on Yoders' podcast. What are you talking about?
So it's one of those things where it's like, I think that's part of it is you have to always remember where you came from and why you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
What's the big reason? Is it to be able to sign autographs? No, it's not. But there are people, someone told me this the other day that kind of just took me back, that he looked at me and said, Clinton, I don't think you understand that the influence that you have with people more than you ever imagine. And I think that's the key. Like you said, it don't feel right.
Yeah.
But there is you know, no matter what you do in life, you influence more people than we ever imagine.
Yeah.
And then especially if you start to add to the you know, in a sense,
you start getting
success with that, it just adds to that. People are looking up to Jesse Priest, you know. I mean, look what he's done. I would love to be able to do that. I wonder if he would ever share with me the way he done that and how he got there, and staying humble and never being afraid to share that with people and be like, no, man, I mean, I'm you.
Exactly.
I'm you.
I'm you. I just play some music.
Right.
One of my biggest, like, accomplishments and that I foresee that I've ever got to do or be a part of was with that whole Dolly Parton challenge that went on during the Jolene thing.
Mm-hmm.
I got to go talk to the choir at my old high school.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just to go in and sit and kind of, I played some songs for them and got to talk with them.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, you know, for me, that's always been something that I was like, man, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And then, next thing you know, I get contacted by, like, so I went to Holly Pond. Then I get contacted by Vinemont. They want me to come play something. Then West Point wants me to come play something. And then Cold Spring. And then, like, so all these little high schools. And then people, were asking me, you know, well, I've thought about doing music.
Uh-huh.
What is it? And, like, you know, I'm like, it's tough.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to lie to you, but it's fun.
Yeah.
It has its glorious moments, and then it has its very, very big downfalls, you know.
Yeah.
I think of myself when somebody, like Clinton said, somebody came up and recognized me at this big conference. My thing is, and I probably didn't do a great job of it because I was just like, I was a little like, why do you want to know me?
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about it is we live with ourselves 24/7, right?
Exactly.
We know who we are, right? And you try to be as authentic as possible, but we also know, you know, when we wake up and we hit the snooze about 5 or 6 times before we get up, and we know that time that, oh, I didn't do a great job, you know, managing that angry outburst or whatever, or, you know, because like that's the, so when somebody says, like, you know, like I coach baseball with a bunch of guys, you know, and they're all the time giving me, because we're friends, they give me crap about the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
They'll watch it and they'll be like one guy, Justin, he watched one of the episodes with Travis Key on it, and he's like, hey, we didn't finish our baseball game, so I don't know how you're going to tell me that y'all coached the first place Morris team. He's like, we didn't finish our game. And I was like, well, we were in the lead when the game ended. And so, but it got rained out. But, you know, so it's a little weird situation that all of us kind of are in. But the key thing is, like you said, being humble and kind, man, will go a long way.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I heard a guy say this week that you can't be kind without kind words.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's something I always try to pride myself in, is being, you know, kind, giving of my time, because if you're gonna tell me, hey, I like what you do, I'm gonna give you as much time as you want because
Yeah.
that's you're telling me that my passion, what I'm trying to do, what I feel like I'm put on this earth to do, you loved.
Mm-hmm.
And so if that's the case, we'll sit here and talk all day if you want to.
Yeah,
But
they show interest in you. And
Yes. My coach told me this. He's like, you know, pride. People view pride as you know, anything that is, you know, about you. But the fact is, pride is when you put yourself above others and above what your God-given purpose. Start finding not the kind of pride that is I'm better than you, but start finding pride in the reason God has you here.
Yeah.
Start knowing that I'm here for this reason, and I'm gonna be proud that God has me here for this moment and for these things. So, but hey, before we go any further, we don't want to miss another one of our big sponsors, Stroke Gains. So take a look at this video. Guys, we got to talk to you about Strokes Gained Hydration. Because let's be real, most of us don't drink enough water, and when we do, it's usually missing the electrolytes we actually need.
Exactly. Strokes Gained is designed to keep you hydrated the right way, with the perfect balance of electrolytes, no unnecessary sugars, and clean ingredients that help you feel and perform your best, whether you're out on the course, at the gym, or just tackling a busy day.
We've been using it, and the difference is unreal. Better energy, better focus, no midday crashes. If you want to stay on top of your game, check them out at strokesgained.com, strokesgained.com, and use code YodersTalk for an exclusive discount.
Hydrate smarter, feel better, and keep winning your day with Strokes Gained.
Stroke Gains has been a great affiliate with us here, and we love them. We love Travis Key and the company he's built there. It's been good stuff. And I'm telling you guys, that stuff, if you deal with cramps and things like that, I take 1 or 2 every single day, and it's been a game changer for me to, I mean, people, you ain't got to be a golfer to take it. Let's put it that way. So it's good stuff. So, all right, kind of moving, you know, towards the end of the podcast here, this episode, One thing that I noticed that I wanted to share with y'all, don't romanticize, you could say. I don't even, is that a word, romanticize? We'll say it's a word.
Sounds
It's
good.
a word.
It sounds good, right?
You said it.
Don't romanticize the beginning or the end of your journey. So many times we get overly excited at the beginning that we're going to take on the world. And we, in a sense, we make it this big thing. And when we do that, we tend to lose momentum and lose that drive that got us there. Stay level, I guess you could say. Mm-hmm. And then also about talking about romanticizing the end. The fact is, if we're here for a reason, you know what the end of our purpose is? It's when we die. And guess what? It still doesn't end there. If we have made an impact, it should continue on for generations. So don't quit trying to focus solely on the fact that I'm going to get there one day. Yeah. Because the fact is, you never arrive. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You never arrive. It's always a climb. You get to play Rock the South, Jesse. There's a next journey. There's a next step after that.
Oh yeah.
Rock the South doesn't end. It's not like, okay, Jesse says I'm done and that's my career and all this. Yeah. But it's a step. And so let's not make things bigger than what they are. Now, that doesn't mean celebrate the wins or not celebrate the wins. You need to celebrate the wins. You need to focus on making sure that you're excited about what you're doing. But let's not, I mean, it's just like anything else. When we put so much energy into something as this is my moment and I'll never have another, when that moment ends, that's when we lose that drive because, oh boy, now we got to go back to the grind. Mm-hmm. So start finding the love of what you do and the grind of what you do. It's kind of what I'm trying to get at. You know, it's not the first step or the last step that builds you. It's the ones no one claps for.
I got you.
I'll read that one more time. It's not the first step or the last step that builds you. It's the ones that no one claps for. I thought that was.
I've had a lot of those.
Yeah.
This may be a question that you don't want to answer, and if it is, that's okay. Have you ever been booed off a stage?
No.
You have not. Well, that's good.
That's
Actually pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
That means you're
that's
good
why
at
I
what
don't play music.
Oh yeah.
I hear that happens sometimes.
I have so with music, I will say that it's a very slippery slope for certain addictions of things too.
Yes,
you gotta
that's
be
true.
Aware. Alcohol is a big one because you play these venues and you're getting paid to play, and then you get to drink for free at most of them. So there has been some videos I've seen of myself where I was like, so I now no longer drink. I've been pretty sober for probably like 3.5, 4 years.
Yeah.
Nice.
Something like that. Where I just don't, not that I couldn't handle it or couldn't control it. I just was like, it's kind of getting to a point to where it's interfering with what I really want to do, and I want to be taken seriously.
So it's the truth of it is sometimes you have to give up something on the journey so that the journey can continue to where you want it to go. That's just the facts.
Yeah, you just got to grow.
Yeah, just grow. Yeah, a lot of people that listen know that March the 14th, 2020 was my last drink I ever had because I had an issue with it. It became a thing, and but so it's all those things can really set you back if you ain't careful when it comes to I mean, and it doesn't just have to be an addiction. I mean, there's times where really anything in life that you grab a hold of outside of God can lead you down a slippery slope in a sense.
Definitely.
And,
there were times that I was looking forward more to getting to drink at the bar than to play a show.
Yeah.
So I get that.
Sacrifice.
Yeah.
Sacrifice.
And I didn't want to be that guy.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. That fires me up there. So, all right, I want to share a verse of the day that goes well with this. Galatians 6:9 says, "And let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not." So what is that trying to tell us, Corey?
You got to keep going, man. You got to keep driving. Like, it's going to be the road to me. I mean, the way I look at, and especially right now, I'm really fired up kind of place right now coming back. And I mean, to me, like, it's going to be tough some days. The grind's going to be tough. If I had a coach that used to say, if it was easy, everybody would do it. And then, we heard John Maxwell saying, everything worthwhile is uphill. There's going to be tough days, and you're going to fall, but keep getting up. Keep getting up.
Definitely. I get with that. I kind of think that goes back to kind of what we were saying too about the people that just get to be them one-hit wonders. Whenever you're not out there having to grind and do all that, and everything's kind of handed to you, you don't respect as much as you would had you been having to grind for it.
The wins feel a lot. The wins are a lot better because
Definitely.
let's be honest, the easy things come and go so quickly when it's easy. Like, and I think that's why you have so much depression and whatever in today's world with the younger generation, is because things have gotten so easy for them. You could say there's participation trophies given out every day. There's everybody gets. No, if you're a hard worker, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to get you somewhere. And so, especially, and so
everybody gets a reward.
Yeah, everybody gets a reward, and it's like so the people that would maybe work hard are kind of like, why work hard?
Yeah. You did the least amount of work today, but you know what? Here's your reward too. Because maybe tomorrow you'll do a little better.
That's it, and they never do better because
they're getting rewarded.
They're getting rewarded. That's right. And I think that's why it's so. I'll just be honest. I get frustrated. I get
Me
so
too.
frustrated, man.
The
When-
snowflakes.
Oh man, it just, and I know it shouldn't be that way. It frustrates me so bad because I'm like, you have so much potential if you just knew it. I mean, just quit thinking that life is easy and quit thinking that everything's just going to be given to you. You know, we're going to wake up one day and this, you know, I don't want to look down on, it's my generation too. So
Yeah.
I can say this. It ain't just the new generations. We always hear that. Oh, the
Yeah.
new generation
Yeah.
this, new generation that. But my generation even, you know, we have lost purposeful people. They wake up in the morning, they go to bed at night, and really have no reason no bigger reason to be here in their mind, in their own mind. But man, they have so much potential. They're here for a reason. Man, I just want to. If I could have a special sauce that I could help everybody wake up and see that they're here for a bigger purpose than themselves, I would play. I would give up everything I got so people could see that.
Mm.
That's just my heart, and I want people to give it their all, I guess you could say. So, but Jessie, I appreciate you being on here. You have no idea of what it means to, you know, just have someone like you here. I'm gonna
Well,
be
thank y'all
honest,
for having me.
and it's an honor, truly an honor to have you
Yeah.
here. And
Thank you.
I'm gonna tell you right now, we're gonna be some of your biggest fans and cheering you on from the sideline. And
I appreciate that.
I'll tell you this: anything you ever need, we're here, and we ain't going anywhere, Lord willing. And so, but yeah, I just want to especially take a moment and say thank you for spending some time with us. And,
Thank y'all for having me.
and
I really appreciate it.
we pray that your career takes off and your dreams come true.
Thank you.
I really mean that. Really mean that. So,
Yeah.
Corey, you got anything to say yet before we wrap this thing up?
That's just be like Jessie, keep grinding and
Mhm.
get after it.
Mhm.
Because, like I say, there's only one you, and you have a
Amen.
purpose out there. And if you don't unlock that purpose, if you do not, you stop and quit, the world is missing a piece.
Mm-hmm.
And so you got to keep going, keep getting after it. And
Yeah.
man, I've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And we're gonna definitely be cheering you on. And when is Rock? What's the dates on Rock the South?
I think it's like June 18th, 19th, and
Yeah.
20th, I believe.
Yeah, y'all go out and give Jessie some support. And Jessie, I like to do this with every guest. What is one thing you could say to our audience when it comes to the thing of never quitting? Do you have anything you want to leave with our audience?
I will tell you this. I have had a tough go at it, and especially in these past couple years. Like 2.5 years ago, I was diagnosed with water toxicity. So I had overhydrated in my whole entire body. I weighed 625 pounds, and I was admitted to the hospital. It then turned into me having lung issues and congestive heart failure. So I still deal with that daily. But I'm down to like 458.
Nice.
You know, in a matter of 2 years, I've lost
Yeah.
a good substantial amount of weight. And I'm trying to be better and do better. And all the doctor visits and stuff are going in my favor for now, thank the Lord. You know, and I wanted to give up then. I was in the hospital, and I would cry, and I would just, you know, tell my wife, you know, this is it. I die here. Because when you're so engulfed with so much fluid like that, it's on your lungs and heart, and
Yeah.
it's just, you can literally drown from too
Mm.
much water.
Mm.
I've learned that. I got hospitalized for it. But I spent over 2.5 months in the hospital in 2023 from October till November, or even into December. And I just did not think that I would make it out of that situation. And here I am a year and a few months later, you know, and I'm getting the opportunity to play Rock the South. And I'm very humble, and I want to thank the entire community that rallied together to make this happen.
Mhm.
You know, I thank Shane Quick and all those guys from Coleman Daily and My Coleman TV for making this a possibility. But I would say that was probably my darkest time in life. And, I'd prayed hard, and I'd kind of felt maybe God had abandoned me, and I tried so hard to keep my faith and stay strong. And, here I am today.
Amen.
Thanks to the good Lord.
Amen to that.
And all the doctors and folks that are keeping me around for a little longer.
You're here for a reason.
Yeah.
God
So
has
don't
you
give
here.
up.
Amen to
Don't
that,
give up.
man. That gives me goosebumps.
Yeah.
I just love when somebody doesn't give up. Man, God has us here for a reason, and we got to give it our all. Got to give it our all. And our faith, and I love that we all at times feel like God does abandon us. It feels like that at times. I mean, I know there's been many of times, and this as much as me, most times it's because he's right there ready. It's because we choose to, in a sense, take our own path. But as soon as we're like, God, I'm back to you because there's nothing else here, he's there. He's never left. He's there. And
Well,
it's beautiful.
when he said, don't take your eyes off of me.
That's right. If you seek me, you'll find me.
Yeah.
It says it clear as day. I seen him the other day, and I don't know the stat. I forget it. But how many times he says to seek him.
Yeah.
And if you look up the word seek, there is physical effort, mental effort in seeking. The word seek there means it's a what's hide and seek. You look, you're searching, and I think that's where we have to go to, is when in our dark times, God asks us to seek him out, and he'll be there. So it's beautiful.
And I think he said, I love you 365 times.
There you go. And he does. Because
he wanted you to know for every day of the year.
That's it. I love that. That's great. I never heard it like that exactly. So, all right. Wrapping this up, I want to just say this. Where you find yourself today, I don't know where you are, listener. I have no clue. But wherever you find yourself today, don't stop in the middle of where you think you are. Here's the thing. The grind never stops. God hasn't brought you this far for you to give up now. God hasn't made a clear path forward for you to give up now. Always remember, my dad always told me this. He said, in the middle of some of the hardest things in my business life, my dad would look at me and say, "Man, that's exciting. God must really love you." And I'd be like, "What do you mean? Man, all these things are going in the wrong way." He said, "Son, you got to understand something. God allows us to go through them things because he knows there's something so much bigger up ahead, that he allows us to go through things in life to make so that we're able to, or prepares us for those things that are coming. Because he knows we couldn't handle those things if we didn't go through these tough times in our life. So if you're going through a tough time, man, don't quit in the middle. You're so close to something great, to a big win. And, and remember this, you never truly arrive. So just because you get a big win doesn't mean that the grind doesn't continue. So, man, we love y'all more than you would know, audience. I mean, we truly, from the bottom of our heart, wish nothing but the best for y'all, and that y'all could, be great and be used for a bigger purpose than yourself. So, in closing here, I want to just follow up with this to say, go check out Jessie Priest on social, his music. I'm assuming you're pretty much on most of the platforms.
Oh, yeah.
Man, go give him a like, give him a share. He's got some amazing music that I think can touch a lot, that will touch a lot of people. Not can, it will and has. So just make sure you go give him a like and a follow. Check him out at Rock the South. I think we got a big star right here sitting beside us, and it's truly an honor, and that's from him never giving up. So, thank y'all for tuning in to Yoders Talk. Keep showing up, keep leading with purpose. Corey, like we always say, just because it's hard doesn't mean it's not a big purpose behind it.
That's right.
Never give up. Always lead with a purpose. And just make sure that you as an individual wake up today and you take another step towards your dreams, that you take another step towards your calling in your life, And I promise you, every day that you wake up and do that is a step closer to your goal.
That's right.
Step closer to your goal. But we love y'all. Like and subscribe on social media. Share this podcast. Do what all y'all do. I don't even know. Just keep getting it out there. I mean, we were blessed to have the amount of subscribers and everything we do. Again, we say it all the time. These two rednecks don't have a clue what we're doing. We're just sitting here talking about life experience. And so we love you. God bless you. And always remember to lead with a purpose. Guys, thank you so much for spending some time with us here on Yoders Talk today. We hope that you heard something that you can apply to your life and make your life better and a more positive impact on those around you.
If you like what you heard, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, like, comment, and please share to others. You can also find our content on Spotify, Facebook, and TikTok.
We're excited also to bring you some new merch this season. Click the link below and you can go there and find you some awesome, great quality t-shirts, hats, hoodies, whatever you see there, and hopefully you can truly enjoy that. But without further ado, I want to leave this with you. Always lead with a purpose. God bless you.